Hi gang, Rob here. It is the evening of 17 February 2022. Thursday night, 9 o'clock, time for a knife sale on the Apostle P channel. And we've got a good one. I think I called it yummy yesterday in the teaser video. And it kind of is. We've got a great selection. 32 knives to get through tonight. Before we get into the meat of the inventory, a little bit of housekeeping as usual. First of all, I need you to be familiar with and agreeable to the terms of the sale. I'm going to post them on the screen for you in just a moment. I'll also reprint them in the description underneath this video. Also in the description, you're going to see 3 links to previous videos on the channel at the very top. The first one is to my primer for buyers video. That's a 38-minute expanded explanation of the terms of the sale. If you're new to this weekly sales event, I strongly suggest that you watch that before you participate. There might be some things we do a little differently than you're used to, and it would be good to know what they are and why we do them that way. The second link is to my FAQs for Consignors video. If you'd like to use this weekly sales event to move along some of your collection, that video will explain how it all works from the consignor's perspective. And the third link, as always, is to my rates and services video for the TheApostleP Knife Service, the original precision sharpening service for the online knife community. So in the description, you will find those 3 links, then the terms of the sale reprinted. Then at the bottom, you'll see the list of tonight's inventory, complete with timestamps and pricing. In the pricing column, the number to the left of the slash is your as shown price. Number to the right, as sharpened by the TheApostleP Knife Service, and there will be no next day sharpening this week. If you buy a knife to be sharpened, you can expect it to ship in 3 to 4 weeks. And then if you see the word sold in that right column in lieu of pricing, that knife has been bought and paid for. No need to send it, I'll take it for that one. I think that's about it. Let's get the terms up on the screen for you, and we'll be right back with the sale inventory. Here are the terms. All right, let's get to it, shall we? First up, 2 leftovers from last week, just 2. The first one is from Fiddleback Forge, and not just any Fiddleback Forge. I'll show you what I mean by that in just a moment. It's going to come in a pancake-style leather sheath from, what? KSF Leather. Inside, we have this beauty, and it is a beauty. This is the Fiddleback Forge Recluse. Not just any Fiddleback Forge, though. Notice the stamp in the spine. Fiddleback by AR. That's for Andy Roy. Mr. Fiddleback. So the Recluse has an A2 blade, 3 3/4 inches in length, and a sexy drop point. The handle has bolsters and liners of black G10, and then some stunning box elder burl for the scales, and then black pins with that double wall signature Fiddleback lanyard hole. 3 3/4 inch blade, 4.5 inch handle. Got a little bit of Coke bottle going on. Super comfortable in hand. I'm going to call it near mint to like new, probably more like new than near mint. No box with this one, just the sheath and the knife. They are out of stock right now. When they were available, I found an expired listing on Knife Ship Free for $435 for this knife. We ran it last week at $350. It didn't sell on Thursday. We knocked it down to $325 for the weekend. and it's still here. So guess what, guys? $285 for the Andy Roy crafted Fiddleback Forge Recluse. $285 like it is $305 with my edge on it. Next up, this one I'm actually pretty shocked it didn't sell. From Great Eastern Cutlery in a big long tube because it's a big long knife. This from the handcrafted Tidioute cutlery line. It is a number 981316W. That's the 98 Whittler. Look at this beauty. 4 13/16 inches of closed length. Hot dog shield, plain bolsters. What I love about the 98 Whittler is that the wedge back spacer for the split back mechanism is in brass so you can see it. You have a main clip point blade on a cam tang, and man, I should have wiped this thing down. Sorry about that. Talk amongst yourselves for a moment. Subtle recurve drawn swedge and a nail neck. Beautiful walk and talk. I'm going to call the pull a 7.5. Then we got a secondary pen, and as I said last week, as big as the main spear on some knives, and a secondary sheep's foot, again as big as a main blade on some knives, and the secondaries are on half stops. Blade alignment is stupendous. I just marvel at how far the tip of that main blade extends through the blade tangs of the secondaries and right down the middle. A beautiful knife. Near mint in tube, just storage wear on the nickel silver bolsters only. Pricing reference, I only found one of these sold on eBay. It was a best offer accepted of a buy it now for $5.99, so it's probably sold for somewhere north of $500. We ran this one last week for $425, got no takers, dropped it to $390 for the weekend. It's still here. Somebody gets a heck of a buy. $350 shipped, priority mail, $385, and I sharpen all three blades. That is the GEC Tidioute number 98 Whittler. Next up, oh, what a stunner this is. Another one from GEC's Tidioute line. This is a 68 Pony Jack, very similar to a knife we sold last week, but a different main blade. This is a model 68 1213 STL in ebony wood, which probably means Macassar ebony, not Gabon ebony. Last week we sold this same knife, but with a spear main. This one is an all-steel 68 Pony Jack with a clip main. Oh, oh. Satin, no etch, long pull cut swedge. What a beautiful blade that is. This is some of the best cam tang walk and talk I've ever seen on a GEC. Pull weight on this is about a 7, maybe a 7.5. I love the sheen and the shimmer of those steel bolsters and end caps. Let's see. I'm going to say walk and talk and centering all perfect, or as close as my eye can see. Price reference, unobtainium, guys. Ebony, steel, Pony Jacks are just impossible to find. Your price on this one is going to be $225, like it is $250. I sharpen both blades. The GEC Tidioute number 68 Pony Jack. Next up, here's a cutie. From the Tidioute line from Great Eastern Cutlery, we have a number 14 Lyle's Lick Creek Boys Knife, model 142116 in OD green linen micarta. This is going to come with Lyle's story of butcher shop manners. Always read the Lyle's story if you get one of these. So here you go. OD green, linen micarta, all steel construction. Single spear point blade on this one. Now this is going to be in your inventory as GEC Tidioute number 14 Lick Creek single. Why would you suppose that is? Because we have a double coming up next. So a 7 pull, strong for a small knife. Walk and talk are beautiful, centering very, very close. Condition is going to be like new in tube with story. Your price, $150 like it is, $165 with an ApostleP edge. Again, this is GEC Tidioute number 14 Lick Creek single. Next up, I bet you can guess what it is. I bet you can. From the Tidioute Cutlery line, it's a Lyle's Lick Creek boys knife. Model 142216 in OD green linen micarta. This one as well will come with the Butcher Shop Manners number 4 story. And here's the knife. Going to look a lot like the last knife. Number 14 boys knife. OD green linen micarta. Spear main. Long pull cut swedge. My fingerprints. Pull weight on this one I'm going to call a 7. And then on the back side, the pen blade. Walk and talk are perfect. Centering is too. Condition like new in the tube with story. Again, this is in your inventory as GEC Tidioute number 14 Lick Creek 2-blade. Your price $160 like it is, $160, and then $185. I sharpen both blades. The GEC Tidioute number 14 Lick Creek 2-blade. Next up, oh, this is the save me from myself moment of tonight's sale. Ooh. Hit me from Spyderco by way of Seki City, Japan. We got a Caly 3, but the model number gives you a clue as to why it's special. It is a Caly 3 carbon fiber ZDP. A beautiful demarcation line between the ZDP 189 core and the 420 J2 cladding. 3 inches of blade, 4 inches of handle, reversible tip up, deep carry, paper clip, mid-lock, backlock, nice free action, 0 blade play, and blade centering is dead. Condition, now I was going to call this like new in box, but on the offside, if you look very closely, you can see a couple super tiny hairlines in the cladding. And as soon as you cut your first piece of cardboard, you're going to get hairlines in the cladding. But we're going to call it very near mint in box. They are discontinued. They are out of stock. Unobtainium. I only found one sold listing on eBay, and it was kind of a turd. So I'm not even going to mention it. That was it. No current listings and only one sold listing. I think I'm going to treat you right on this one. Let's do $150 like it is, $170 with my edge. Boy, I'd almost like to put a deadline on this one. Should I? Yeah, let's do. If it's not sold by 9:20 Thursday night, I'm marking it sold and keeping it. $150 like it is, $170 sharpened. Next up, the twin to a knife that we sold last week from Spyderco. It is a Southard black in your inventory as Spyderco Southard BK. We have a black G10 scale. We have a black titanium frame. We have a black clip. We have a black banana blade in CTS 204P on ball bearings with a flipper mechanism. We have a black G10 over travel stop for the lock bar. We have a carburized titanium lock face on the lock bar. There's your lock engagement. It's rock solid. Super smooth ball bearing action. Perfect centering condition. Like new in box. This knife is discontinued and out of stock everywhere. When they were in stock, they had web pricing of $270. On eBay, I found one kind of a nasty used one for $185. Most of the like new ones are up in the 300 range. 325 was the highest one I found. This one can be yours. Same price as the one we sold last week. $225 like it is. $250 with an Apostle P edge. That's the Spyderco Southard BK. Next up, another repeat. The second of a knife that we had last week from Spyderco, from Taichung, Taiwan. It's the Nilakka. And this is a second generation Nilakka with the very interesting 3D milled brown G10. I butchered the designer's name last week. Pekka Tuominen. There we go. Pekka Tuominen. Sounds like a Finlander, because he is. This is a Spyderco folding Puukko. Very cool knife. The difference between the Gen 2 and the Gen 1 is that the Gen 1 was 0 ground. So it was probably just power strapped at the edge, but the primary bevel came all the way to the edge. Guys found them to be too chippy, so the second generation knives have a micro bevel. S30V is your blade steel. 3.5 inches of blade, 4.5 inches of handle. Big, heavy stainless steel liner lock mechanism. Beautiful lockup. Rock solid. Smooth phosphor bronze action. Perfect centering. Condition is like new in box. I cut open the plastic baggie for the video. So it's completely virginal except for my greasy fingerprints. They are discontinued. They are out of stock. There are none for sale or recently sold on eBay. Unobtainium. Your price, $200, just like the one we sold last week. $220 if you'd like it with my edge on it. That's the Spyderco Nilakka Gen 2. Next up, it's another Spyderco and another double of a knife we sold last week. A Paramilitary 2. Burple G10 and an S110V blade. There's your Burple G10. There is your pocket clip. This knife is so new it hasn't even been moved to tip up. There is your blade. It is virginal S110V. Yep. Lock up, rock solid. Action's beautiful. Centering's perfect. It's like new in box. Superb mechanics. These are actually available and in stock brand new. Current minimum advertised pricing for retailers is $215. This one can be yours for $160. $160. $185 if you'd like it with an Apostle P edge. That's in your inventory. Spyderco Pair 2 Burple S110. Okay, next up, we sold 2 of these last week. We're going to sell 2 more tonight. We've got a Spyderco from Golden, Colorado, USA Earth. Military dark green 204P. We'll call this one Spyderco Military GRN 204P number 1. These are a KnifeWorks exclusive sprint run. Long sold out. Dark green G10. Blade steel is Carpenter CTS 204P. There's your lock engagement. Right where you want it. It is rock solid. Action is nice and free. There's just a little tight spot right at the full open position. Very slight though. And then it's a free dropper after that. Centering is perfect. See, there's your little tight spot, and then once it gets there, it's a free dropper. And it's not very tight at all, guys. Like new. In box. Discontinued, not a stock. eBay sold listings running between $250 and $325. This one can be yours for $200. $225 with an Apostle P edge. That is Spyderco Military GRN 204P number 1. Next up. Well, if the last knife was number 1, how about number 2? From Spyderco, Golden, Colorado, USA. Earth. Another KnifeWorks exclusive military. Dark green G10 and CTS 204P steel. Another one that is like new in the box. There's your dark green G10. Now there's your polished clip. There's your 204P blade. Not a mark on it because it's like new in the box. Rock solid lockup. This has a dead free drop in action. And again, a perfect centering. So this is a perfect example. So number 1 is 200. This one, number 2, 205, because it's just a little nicer. That's in your inventory as Spyderco Military GRN 204P number 2, 205 like it is, 230 with an Apostle P edge. Next up from WR Case and Sons, check this beauty. This is a case 31549L CV Copperlock in Stag. Would you look at that Stag? Huh? It's thick. It's beautiful. It's Popcorn City. And the match is about as perfect as it gets dimensionally. I mean, my goodness. Wow. 3 9/16 inches of closed length. A single clip point blade in cases CV steel. Long pull, cut swedge. Doesn't feel like it's ever cut anything. It's a little raggy, but I think that's just factory sharpening. Absolutely zero blade play in the midlock mechanism. And the centering is perfect on a case. We'll call it near mint to like new in box. Your price on this one? Look at the Stag, boys. $150 like it is. 170 with an Apostle P edge. That is the case 31549L CV Copperlock Stag. No box, by the way. No box. Next up, another one from Case. This one does have the box. This is a Case 51749L CV Mini Copperlock. So while the large Copperlock is 4 3/16, this one is 3 9/16. I think I misspoke on the length of the big one. Yeah, I might have. Anyway. Okay, so 3 9/16 closed. Dark red jig bone. Midlock, backlock mechanism. CV blade. Absolutely zero blade play. Smooth light action. Centering on this one is, it's not quite perfect. I think it favors the right just slightly. It didn't last time I looked at it. Why not? I don't know. It does. It's like new in the box. Your price on this one is going to be $50, like it is, $50. And then $65 if you like my edge on it. That's the Case 51749L CV Mini Copperlock. Next up, from the Northfield Unexcelled product line from Great Eastern Cutlery, we have a number 68 White Owl. The White Owl Model 681221 in cowhide jigged bone. Comes with this button. The number 68 White Owl, Howard. Is that because Bill Howard is rather fair complected, wears glasses, and is very wise? I don't know. Here's the knife. It's the 68 Northfield trim, lined and pinched nickel silver bolsters, the White Owl stamped shield, and then this is going to be an opposite end 2-blade jack. Need to wipe the blade. It's got a little oil on it. It is on a cam tang. You have your Northfield etch here, and then your Howard White Owl on the pile side of the main blade. Just some evidence of very slight blade rub in that linerless congressing 2-blade setup. So we'll say the pull is 6.5. Perfect walk and talk. Very nice. And there's your cowhide jigged bone. Condition on this, I'm going to call near mint to like new in tube with button. Sold listings on eBay for this knife running between $170 and $205. This one can be yours. Shipped priority mail all in at $165. $190 if you want me to sharpen both blades. That's in your inventory. Now make sure you're paying attention because I have another one of these later in the sale. GEC Northfield number 68 White Owl bone number 1. Number 1. Okay, next up. This is going to look familiar. A GEC Northfield 68 White Owl, model 681221, but this one in Sambar Stag. The button that comes with has Bill Howard's portrait. See, Howard the Owl. We think that because the owl is white, Bill is very white. Bill wears glasses and he's very wise. So the White Owl made on the 68 chassis, about 3 7/16 inches in length. Look at that stag, guys. It's beautiful, not like stupid popcorny, but very user beautiful. And look at the match. Doesn't get much better than that. Lined and pinched bolsters. Long pull cut swedge, polished main blade. Pull weight 6.5. Perfect walk and talk. And just like the last one, evidence of very slight blade rub right there. You'll have that 2-blade opposite end linerless jack. Condition, I will call near mint to like new in tube with button. And this knife is the Rob's pick of tonight's sale. This is the Rob's pick. That means early birds will not see it before 9 o'clock on Thursday night, because it's just that special. So these knives are running up around $200. The nicest ones on eBay sold listings about $225. This one can be yours for $180, shipped priority mail. $205. I sharpened both blades. That's in your inventory as GEC Northfield number 68 White Owl Stag, the Rob's pick for tonight's sale. Next up, I told you in my teaser that tonight's sale is going to have a patriotic theme. And it does. Get ready. From the Tidioute Cutlery line of Great Eastern Cutlery, we have a number 49 Freedom Jack with the flag motif. Look at that. The PPP is on the button because we got way too much going on the blade. And here's the 49. 3 3/16 inches in closed length. Plain bolsters and end caps, but the end caps are chamfered, much like a Washington Jack. So on the show side, we have the American flag. On the pile side, we have the title of the Declaration of Independence. Or is it the Constitution? I don't know. It's one of them. You think that's the Constitution, right? Yeah. The blade is a sheep's foot with a freedom on the mark side and the Gadsden Don't Tread on Me snake on the pile side. Pull weight 6.5. Perfect walk and talk. Centering very close. Now these knives had some issues with the acrylic or the laminate underneath the acrylic. I would call this one an A- stock. The only flaw I could find, and I don't think you're going to see it, in that bottom red stripe right at the end cap, there is a tiny little void. A tiny, tiny, tiny little void. Oh, I got it to glint right there. See it? That's it. Other than that, all perfect. So let's see. Let's do on this one 145 like it is. 160 if you'd like it with my edge on it. That's in your inventory as GEC Tidioute number 49 Freedom Jack flag. Next up, continuing with our patriotic theme, we just ran a 49 Freedom Jack. Now we have a 94 Liberty Jack, model 941121 in flag acrylic. It is a triple P Patty's potato peelers knife, but the blade has different etching on both sides, so the PPP comes on the button instead. So we got the same handle flipped over. 3 3/16 inches in length. Plain bolsters and end caps, but those beautifully chamfered end caps. On the show side, we have the American flag. On the pile side, we have the Constitution. We have a main clip point blade, drawn swedge, and a nail nick with the Liberty etch. And then on the pile side, we have the Gadsden snake. Don't tread on me. Pull weight is a 7. Walk and talk are sublime. Centering is perfect. And this is a definite A stock knife, not a flaw in the covers that I can detect with my 56-year-old eyes. I'm calling it a perfect example. Like new and tube with button, your price $155 like it is, $170 with my edge on it. That's the GEC Tidioute 94 Liberty Jack flag. Next up. Well, they didn't just make them with flags. From the Northfield Unexcelled Premium Pocket Knives line from GEC, we have a 94 1121 in garnet jigged bone. So this is a Liberty Jack Northfield, lined bolsters, plain end caps, but beautifully chamfered. Unexcelled shield, garnet jigged bone, single clip point blade, polished with the Northfield etch, long pull, cut swedge. I'm going to call this one a 7 pull. Perfect walk and talk. Centering is very close. Condition is like new in the tube. Your price, $165 like it is, $180 sharpened. There's another one of these later in the sale, so this is going to be in your inventory as GEC Northfield number 94 Liberty Jack, bone number 1. Next up. Now here's a knife you don't see every day. This box I think is from the retailer or the distributor, James and Company. fine pocket knives and collectibles. It's got a little tartan plaid cushion. And the knife is from A. Wright and Son, Sheffield, England. And this is their tackler, the tackler from A. Wright and Son. It is 3 5/8 inches of closed length, nickel silver bolsters, buffalo horn covers, and I'm going to show you, if you look closely at the horn, not so much on this side, more on the show side, there's a little ragginess going on right near the edge. You know, buffalo horn is buffalo horn, and buffalo horn do what buffalo horn do. Inside that handle, you got a Camtang action blade made from C70 carbon steel. I don't know what them Europeans are talking about. That is a solid 8-pull on the Camtang, but nice walk and talk, nice and snappy. Centering is, well, doggone if it ain't perfect. If it ain't perfect, it's awful doggone close. We'll call this Near Mint in box. And it's the retailer's box, not a brand box. Your price on this one, $50. You want to experience some Sheffield knife making for low dollar? There you go. 50 like it is, 65 sharpened for the A. Wright and Son tackler. Next up, we're now moving to the CPOS portion of tonight's sale. From CJRB, we have the, we'll just call it the Ria, R-I-A. The Ria. It's a little liner lock gents folder affair. OD green canvas micarta. Thumb stud on one side, right hand only. Ball bearing pivot. That blade is a steel I had never heard of until tonight, and I've got 3 knives in this steel. AR-RPM 9 stainless steel. I have no idea. Blade length is 2 15/16. Handle is 3 15/16. Stainless steel liner lock mechanism. Right hand tip up deep carry stainless pocket clip. Super free ball bearing action. Rock solid lockup. Perfect centering, and the condition is like new in the box. These are available, I think, at White Mountain Knives for $50. Of course, you're going to have to pay sales tax, probably some postage. Or for this one, $35, priority mail, all in, $35, $55 with an ApostleP edge. That's the CJRB Ria. Next up, the first of 3 from Artisan Cutlery. I just dumped them all over the table. The card says this is the model 1834 or 1843 PS, which means it is a small Arion, A-R-I-O-N. In that same blade steel I've never heard of, AR-RPM 9. Handle material is red coral micarta. Ceramic ball bearing pivot. CNC machine, okay. Here is the small Arion. 4 inches of handle. 3 inches of blade deployed with a slot on ball bearings. Pretty neat little spear point. Rock solid lockup. There's your stainless steel liner lock engagement. It's pretty doggone early, but it's solid. Ball bearing pivot, perfect centering. Deep carry, tip up right hand, stainless steel clip. Condition is like new in the box. These are $75 web pricing, brand new. This one can be yours, $60, shipped priority mail. No postage, no sales tax. 80 with my edge on it. That is the Artisan Cutlery 1843 PS Small Arion. Next up, more Artisan Cutlery. Let me try to do this without knocking anything else over. Okay. The card says model 1843P, which makes it a full-size Arion in a steel I've never heard of, stainless AR RPM 9. This is going to be in OD canvas micarta, ceramic pivot. This is going to have a black blade too. There is your micarta handle. There is your black deep carry stainless steel right hand tip up pocket clip. Opens with a slot and a ball bearing pivot. Big old spear point blade. 3 5/8 inches in blade length, 4 3/4 inches a handle. Lockup is early but secure. Rock solid. Ball bearing action super free and smooth. Ceramic bearings should ensure that. Hard to see, but the centering is perfect. Condition is like new. Web pricing on these brand new, and they are in stock, is $85. This one can be yours. A brand new in box and perfect example, $69 like it is. $89 with an Apostle P edge. That's the Artisan Cutlery 1843P full-size Arion. Next up, speaking of Artisan Cutlery Arions, we have another one. This is a big box. Inside the box is a tin, and inside the tin is a nylon padded hard-sided pouch. Because this is a special knife. It's a full-size Arion with red coral canvas micarta, but on the other side, we got a titanium frame lock, beautifully glass bead blasted, steel inserted, lock interface, fully milled, right hand tip up pocket clip made of titanium. The 3 5/8 inch blade on this one is not some weird steel we've never heard of. This is S35VN. There is your lock engagement on the TIFL. It is rock solid. Ceramic ball bearing pivot is very smooth. Blade centering is very perfect. Condition is very like new in box. Web pricing on this knife, if you want to buy a new one, is $200. I think White Mountain has them. Or just buy this one, like new in the box, shipped, priority mail, $150 like it is, and $170 with an Apostle P edge. This is in your inventory as the Artisan Cutlery 1843G-DRC Arion TI/FL. Yeah. Next up, from Bark River Knives, Escanaba, Michigan, USA, we have the Bark River Kitsune Tanto limited edition in CPM 154. I remember when I was sitting at Mike Stewart's desk a couple years ago, I saw this knife in 3D printed black plastic before it was produced. Here we go. Waterproof treated leather sheath for vertical or scout carry. Inside is this thing of beauty. So on the off side, it's going to say first production run and limited edition. What makes it the limited edition, I think this goes back to the forum days with Bark River. Anytime you see brass hardware, polished black canvas micarta, and yellow liners, that is a historic limited edition designation. You got to pre-order them that way to get one. So you've got a traditional Japanese Tanto, CPM 154, gorgeous brass bolsters and pins. Blade length on the Kitsune is 3 5/8, handle length 4 1/16. It's just a beautiful, simple piece of work. It's almost like the Japanese know how to make a knife. And certainly the guys in Escanaba do. These are out of stock. Out of stock. And these limited editions probably were never in stock. They were built for pre-orders only. This knife would have sold, if it was ever in dealer inventory, for about $240. Good luck finding one. I don't know how many Mike made like this. Only as many as were pre-ordered. Probably less than 5. Anyhow, this one can be yours. Near mint to like new in box, just a little sheath wear on the bolsters. $225 like it is, $245 with an Apostle P edge. Notice that 3/16 stock. What a beauty. That is the Bark River Kitsune Tanto limited edition. Next up, let's just stay in Escanaba because we love it there. The Bark River knives. We have a mini Aurora in CPM 3V with, this is kind of my favorite handle material, black and green layered linen micarta. This one also in a waterproof treated pancake style sheath. There's the knife. There's the offside first production run mini Aurora. I think the most efficient blade handle use of space of all the Bark River EDC size fixed blades. Beautiful spear point blade in CPM 3V. There is that layered black and green linen. Oh, this one appears to have been stropped. Got a pretty doggone nice edge on it. I'll give you a sharpened price, but I don't think it needs it. Definitely near mint in box. This would have sold new for about $233. It can be yours for $195 shipped, priority mail. $215 if you'd like it with my edge on it. That's the Bark River Mini Aurora in 3V. Next up, from Hinderer Knives, made in the USA, we have an XM18 3.5-inch Skinner Sand G10 and a blackwash blade. What a stunning knife this is. There's your Sand G10, bright hardware. Then we flip over and we've got the blue anodized titanium pocket clip and fill tab. And then working finish on the frame, but the blackwash finish on the blade. It is S35VN. And did you see that flipping action? Perfect detent, even with fingers on the lock bar. Free drop in action. Effortless flipping. And this is not a tri-way pivot. This is on nylon washers. Rock solid, perfect lockup. And silky smooth and perfect Hinderer centering. Condition on this, I'm going to call near mint to like new in box. A perfect example of an older generation Hinderer. It's beautiful. Your price, $425 like it is, $445 with an Apostle P edge. That's the Hinderer XM18 3.5-inch Skinner. Next up, anybody look for an LUDT at all your knife retailers lately? Good luck. That's why you come here, isn't it? Wait. Oh, there it is. We got an LUDT Stonewash Standard. Black, hard anodized aluminum handle. And nary a mark on it. I love the snap of an LUDT Stonewash blade. And if I can get the camera to pick it up right here, it says LMAX. Born on, hard to read, but it says born on 01 of 2016, and the serial number is is 01731. The lockup is rock solid, no play in this one. The centering is dead down the middle, and the action is thwack. Perfect example, like new, in the box for a 6-year-old knife. They are out of stock in their current configuration. When they were in stock, they were $250. This one can be yours. Never seen a nicer LUDT than this one, guys. $200 like it is, and $225 with an ApostleP edge. That's a nice deal. Next up, it is time for discontinued Benchmade time. First up, in the old style box, we have an 810 Osborne Contigo, or as I like to say, because of my cousin Vinny, the Contigo. The Contigo. You regulars will know who I'm talking about. There is your deeply textured and milled G10 handle. The deep carry polished pocket clip. The blade, gray Cerakoted CPM M4. The distinctly Osborne blade, 3 15/16 inches in length, rock solid lockup. Nearly free dropping action. I'm not sure you want a Contigo to be much more free dropping than that. Centering is beautiful. Glass breaker on the end. Condition, like new in the box. These are discontinued and out of stock. They are creeping up in value. Sold listings on eBay as of today running between $200 and $350. This is a super fine example. Your price, $200, like it is. $225 with an ApostleP edge. That's the Benchmade 810 Contigo. Next up, we have Save Me From Myself moment number 2 tonight. Okay, it's a Benchmade in a blue box. Old style box. It's a 707 sequel. Okay, here's the deal. Earlier in the sale, there was a Caly 3 carbon fiber. And I said, if it's still here at $920, I'm marking it sold and keeping it. Okay, if that one sells, so I can't have it, and it gets to $930, I'm marking this one sold and keeping it. Discontinued and out of stock. The baby sister to the 710, the sequel. McHenry and Williams design. Black hard anodized aluminum handle. Parkerized split arrow clip that has been mounted for left-hand carry. Is it a sign? It could be. G10 inlays. I should probably be operating this with my left hand. 154 cm deeply swedged spear point blade. Axis lock mechanism, rock solid lockup. Free swinger. Rock solid lockup. And the centering on an old Benchmade. How about perfect? Condition is near mint, in box, discontinued, out of stock, unobtainium. I saw tons of sold listings for that blue limited edition knife. Black ones, super hard to find. Super hard to find. Your price, $150, like it is, $170 with my edge on it. Don't wait. Next up, we have a double from a knife that appeared earlier in the sale. So pay attention when you're sending your I'll Take It. This will be number 2. From GEC, Northfield Unexcelled White Owl, number 68. 1221 in cowhide jig bone. In your inventory, it'll say GEC Northfield, number 68, White Owl bone, number 2. Make sure the number 2's in your I'll Take It. It comes with the White Owl, number 68, Howard the Owl button. I believe the owl is named Howard because of his daddy, Bill Howard, who is very white, is very wise, and wears glasses. He may be kind of, does he howl? I don't know. Does he hoot? I don't know. Here's the knife. On the 3 7/16 inch closed length number 68 frame, lined and pinched bolsters, cowhide jig bone. It's an opposite end jack, linerless construction on a cam tang. Pull weight on this one, I'm going to say, is a 7. Nice walk and talk. Let's see if we're rubbing. We probably are. All these have a little rub. If you look right by my thumb, there's your rub line from the secondary blade. Condition is like new in tube with button. eBay sold listings for this knife run between $170 and $205. This one, same price as the last one, $165 like it is. $190 I sharpened both blades. It's the GEC Northfield number 68 White Owl, bone number 2. Next up, we have another double from earlier in the sale, so it'll be a number 2. From the Great Eastern Cutlery Northfield unexcelled line of premium pocket knives. It is a 94 Liberty Jack in Northfield trim with garnet jigged bone. They killed this red, guys. They killed it. Look at that. That's just luscious. Double line bolsters, plain chamfered end caps, unexcelled shield. Pull weight on the single clip, I'm going to say, is a 7. Walk and talk, beautiful. Centering, very close. Long pull cut swedge, Northfield, unexcelled etch. Just beautiful. Absolutely like new in tube. Your price, $165 like it is, $180 for me to sharpen that single clip point blade. It's in your inventory as GEC Northfield number 94 Liberty Jack bone number 2. And that brings us to the last knife in the sale. How about that? This box has traveled. It's a Bark River box, and it came from Bark River to me because this knife just hit the spa. This comes from a great sharpening and consignment customer, Mark, and this one's donated to the Oz Fattinger Leukemia Fund. Comes in the little fold-over bushcraft sheath with the fire steel loop. Inside is this little beauty. The Pro Scalpel in CPM 154 with OD canvas micarta. Refreshed by Rob Cox, master hafter at Bark River. Man, this looks better than new. It really does. Obviously, he spent some time with this one. It's just gorgeous. The blade, 2 1/4 inches of CPM 154. Handle, 3 3/8. Kind of got a 50-50 finger choil. Just a super nice little EDC fixed blade. Let's see. So, I guess we have to call it like new in box as refreshed. And somebody gets to buy this for $110 shipped priority mail, $130 with an ApostleP Edge, and the net proceeds go to the Oz Fattinger Leukemia Fund. And that, my friends, is the end for tonight. Thanks for hanging out with me. I hope you had fun. I had fun doing this one. Grace to you and peace, my friends, from God our Father and the Lord Jesus Christ. Remember, the word is sharp. Now commence to clicking. Talk to you soon.